I started playing music on buckets at different sizes that my dad cut for me. My initial first instrument that I really loved to play was the drums. Background on that is my brother was in a marching band in high school back in California, and we kept going to the games, and every time the drum corps would get up there and do their business, I was like, I wanted to do that. So I told my dad I wanted a drum set. I was like 6, and he's like, I'm not spending $400 or $500 on a drum kit for a 6-year-old. So he cut 5-gallon buckets into different sizes, and I started playing on that with like sticks that were from the yard. It was crazy, like backwoods style. And from that, when we moved to Texas, I actually got a drum kit because I stuck with it. And that's how I got into music. I started, I guess at 6 years old, really playing and trying to do the best I could to beat out whatever songs I could hear on the radio. All right, I transitioned to playing bass basically through a church, a worship team. We didn't need a drummer, we already had one, and our bass player was moving to the Philippines, and so I needed to fill in a spot, and I like the bass anyway, it's another rhythmic instrument. So I borrowed a bass from my brother and started kind of picking it out, playing around, and I don't know, that's my second love, that's my second favorite instrument to play. And I just kind of started from there. I started from the hardest point too. My dad was at a Barnes & Noble and he picked up a video and he calls me and he says, hey, I got a great video for you to start learning some bass things. I said, awesome. So he brings it home. It's the Victor Wooten Super Bass Solo Technique video. Mind you, I was only playing the bass at this point for like 6 weeks, and trying to play Victor Wooten Super Bass Solo Technique was quite the challenge, but it was a lot of fun knowing what you could do with the bass if you were better than me at that point in time. Okay, influences on the bass. Obviously Victor Wooten's going to be one of them. Sting is another one. Geddy Lee from Rush. And you know, I think that maybe Stu Hamm a little bit, but that pretty much rounds it out. My view is add a little color in there, because it's always, you know, some stuff can be just too dry if you're just hitting the root note and you're just playing with the kick drum. Add a little color in there. It's kind of the approach I take with my playing. With the Jud Johnson Band, the way I play is I make sure I hit that backbone. I'm always trying to match the kick drum no matter what. At the same time, I'm trying to add a little interest. It may be because I'm a bass player that I want to hear things like that. As a bass player, I'm thinking if somebody's listening to what I'm doing, they're going to pick up on this, and this would be just as cool for them as it is for me. But the other part is, you know, that's just the way I play. I put a lot of color into certain things. Little little riff here, maybe a little bounce back or something, and I don't know. I just keep it interesting. That's the way I think it is. Jud Johnson Band style is very, well, I mean, I'd say it's kind of bluesy funk rock, if you can put those three together. Nigel brings a lot of the blues kind of feel to it with his guitar playing. I bring a lot of the funk. Ben is very rock and roll, but at the same time he's very adaptable. He can play funk, he can play rock, he can play country, whatever, you know. And so I think we kind of have the core elements of the group bring in those three things: the blues, the funk, and the rock. And on top of that, we throw some jazzy kind of chords in there. Zach's, you know, solos over the top of things are, you know, they're not country, let's put it that way. I don't think we can throw country in anything that we do, but stylistically, I think that pretty much covers it, you know. I would say eclectic is a good word, because we have some songs that have a Latin feel to them, we have some songs that have a really toned down kind of, not really Americana feel, but just something you could throw in the car and drive to, you know, down the coast or anywhere, really just some good old driving music. And then we got other things that are pretty exciting and really fun to listen to and fun to play. Favorite JJB song is going to be Just You and Me. I'm a fan of that one, mostly because I really like the way that it's, the direction that it's taken. You know, when we originally wrote it, it started, they kind of have this, I don't know, it's kind of open feel. I don't know another way to describe it. The chording was real open. The you know, instrumentation was just real kind of open and flowing. And then we ended up putting it into some kind of, you know, just really solid kind of, not a funk feel, but just a really solid feel. And I like the lyrical content. I'm a fan of, you know, the way it plays out. I don't know. It gives me, every time I play it, I enjoy it, let's put it that way. So that's probably my favorite one. I'm going to start with Zach. Zach has been a fantastic player, and he has, actually I've seen his style really develop through the last few months of playing with us, and it's been awesome to have him as an addition to the group. He is one of the guys who's trying to struggle to figure out, I like rock music, but I've grown up playing jazz and traditional jazz and this kind of stuff. How do I meld the two together? And luckily we were able to call him up, and he was melding the two together with us. And so I appreciate his jazz background is fantastic. I love it in his solos, and even when we're writing stuff in rehearsals, some chord structures and things that he pops out are fun. So I think he adds a good element to that. He also has really good crowd skills. Every time we play live, you know, there's not always a sax part going on during every single song. So when he's not playing the sax, he's either moving around, clapping, or he's getting the crowd to get an even greater response, and it's always a blast watching him do that. We can move on to Nigel. Nigel is a phenomenal guitar player, no matter what he says, and it is absolutely, like, there's nothing that could replace Nigel in this band. I don't even think I know another guitar player who could fill the spot if he were to suddenly pass away from something. I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to, I'm just saying if he did, we'd be screwed because his playing is so instrumental to the group. Not only is he an interesting individual personally, music aside, you know, I don't know, just kind of the temperament and the things that he brings different songwriting into the group, because his influences are, you know, obviously different than mine or Ben's or Jud's or Zach's, and so he brings the blues with him. He plays some country licks that we haven't put on any record yet, but are very amusing in rehearsals. And I don't know, it's always fun to play with him because he's such a great musician. Ben brings to the band definitely an energy. Ben is a very hyper individual, whether it's Red Bull induced or not. He's also an eccentric individual, which makes, you know, that's obvious in a lot of things. I mean, the way he dresses is more eccentric than, say, myself in a flat black shirt. He's got style and flavor that surpasses just about everybody I know, and his playing on the drums is very versatile, from, you know, Latin to rock to, you know, reggae stuff, any of that. So his stylistic playing, you know, it's got elements of drummers that I know he looks up to. There's Carter Beauford, there's Stuart Copeland, and guys like this, where he's pulled elements off, but it's distinctly Ben when he plays the kid. So what Ben brings to the band is that excitement, those quick little, I don't know what to describe them as, Benisms that he has, that we'll be working through something and he'll just start yelling out like he's got Tourette's, and you know, make everybody laugh, and then we kind of get past the little slump we're in and continue writing a song. But he does not have Tourette's, to the best of my knowledge, but sometimes he acts like it. So what does Jud bring to the band? Jud brings to the band definitely a sense of organization, but also Jud's the one that comes in with all the jazzy chords. So when we write songs like Just You and Me, or, you know, When the Lights Are Out, those structures and things are coming straight out of him. So he brings in, you know, and also he plays the only acoustic guitar in the group, so there's an instrumental piece there. And lyrical content, thank goodness for Jud, because I don't write lyrics, and I don't think, you know, maybe Ben, but aside from that, nobody's writing lyrics that anybody wants to listen to, except for Jud. So definitely bringing lyrics, some guitar playing, and heading the whole thing, you know, organizational skills is strong on that list.